wasn't stated that in the scriptures to the prior of Abraham, but they were still Hebrew Israelites. All right, it just through a period of time it had to be broke down, in the process of time. Okay, but that was that man, the son of perdition, is here today. That spirit that was in the that serpent, and in Cain, it's in Esau, which we know who Esau is, and that same spirit is still here today. And that's what's got a lot of you Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians believing in a whole different breakdown of things, understanding of things, you know? It says, verse 4, it says, who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is God. And that's historical, man. It's written in the history books. Even though they don't teach us that in the church, they don't teach us that in the schools. But when you dig, you know, you put the plow to the, you know, so to speak, you put the plow to the work, you're gonna find out, man. You know, it's like in that movie, The Matrix, when Morpheus offered Neo the option of the, you know, the blue or red pill. You know, one or the other signifying, you know, hey, you're gonna go back into the world. The other one is gonna reveal all knowledge and wisdom and understanding to you. Well, that main thing that Morpheus told Neo was that you want to see how deep that rabbit hole really goes. You know, because going back to that image, that white image of Jesus, that was never documented in the scriptures, man. It was documented that he was a so-called black man from the tribe of Judah, and that son of perdition is the one that had deceived the whole nations, man, especially the Latin tribes. Because the Latin say Issachar is so-called Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Dominicans, they're heavily into Cesar Borgia, man. You know, they get that white image tatted up on their arms, on their backs. They get Santa Guadalupe, Santa Maria, all that, man. And that's not biblical. But there was a certain man that had pushed that upon you Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And that was during the time of the transatlantic slave trade, when you were brought over here to serve slavery in the Americas, man. And all this has to come out. Some people say, oh, you're looking into the past. You're bringing up the past. The Most High requires that which is of past. Going back to Ecclesiastes chapter 1. He required that which is of past. The Most High don't ever forget, man. They don't ever forget. And they're righteous judges, man. They're about judgment. All right? If somebody does something that's unrighteous or not fair, the Most High is going to make it fair. He's always done it. And he's going to do it in this time. Okay? Going back to 2 Thessalonians 4 and 5. It says, remember ye not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things. Right. And when was that? When Yahushua was on the earth, man. When he walked on the earth and he went out and preached to the world, which the world is talking about you Israelites. Okay? And he spoke to his people and he was telling them a bunch of mysteries, man. He was revealing to them a lot of mysteries. That's why he said you speak to them in parables. Okay? You speak to them in parables. But now everything's going to be made clear to you, man. All right? It's like you got these jakes right here taking pictures of me, you know? These people out here, man. Hey, like the Lord said, he knows your thoughts, man. And he's going to have you checked, man. All y'all going to be corrected. You know? Like I was saying to you brothers, man. You brothers that are on the highways and the byways, y'all got to be on y'all's 10 toes at all times, man. Be circumspect. And watching and discerning, having the gift of discerning spirits, man. Because these people hate us that we're out here doing this. Okay? They hate that we come out here and speak the truth the way we do. Okay? Just like when the Lord was on the scene, not everybody loved the Lord, man. Not everybody loved the Lord. There was a lot of people that were trying to devise against his hurt. Like it says in Psalms 41, man. Let me go ahead and get that. Because he chose, Yahushua chose, the 12. But out of that 12 he chose one that was going to hurt him, man. And that same spirit is here today, man. This is Psalms 41:7. All that hate me whisper together against me, and against me do they devise my hurt. And like I was saying to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, man, you got to be circumspect. Because these people out here, they don't really love us, man. When they fully hear the truth about what we're about what the Bible's about, their whole mindset is going to change around. And you got to have the spirit of discernment on you to know who is who. All right? To know how to discern between good and evil. You know? And it's a very hard thing to do, man, because like I was saying, man, us being like in this flesh, we're easily susceptible to evil things, man, because we're in these bodies, man. These chains of darkness. Okay? And it's very susceptible to evil things, man. But that's why Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai requires that we put off this flesh and we feed to the spirit, man. And the way you feed to the spirit is by reading the scriptures on a daily basis, staying in prayer, fastings, doing your daily instructions that the Most High requires of you throughout your life, applying the scriptures. That's what wisdom and being wise is about. Is applying wisdom and being ready at all times, man. Being circumspect. Okay? It leads me to Timothy's like I said, man, like Yahweh Shai, he was a man, but even another man was the one that had betrayed him and had him crucified. People think, oh, it's these monsters that are in heaven or in hell that are the real enemy. But, that's not true. That's not biblical, man. Although we know the spirits on the left-hand side, the demons, they work in people. All right, they take control of your thoughts. They will impersonate you. Exactly. Someone may look at you and be like, he ain't possessed. It has the same voice, the same mindset, but they can impersonate you. And also they can impersonate somebody else, thinking you that you're speaking to a loved one. They're speaking in Greek or Latin, like they show you in the movies. But the true common possession that when spirits help onto people is that you don't know about it. You don't have you can't discern if there's a spirit on you or not, because you're bathed in wickedness, man. That's why I was saying to the brothers, we have to be circumspect, and put our trust ultimately Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai to protect us and to keep us from harm's way, and at the same time speaking the truth, though, because like I was saying earlier, man, these churches are under what they call a 501c3 charter, and they're basically governed by the government, and they tell them that what they can and can't speak about because they're tax exempt, meaning that they get all that money and they live abundantly, man. But that's where the true men of the Lord, they're not about that. All right. This is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. Put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. The word wiles is another word that's synonymous to it is trickery. All right, witchcraft. And that's all I was saying, man. Like going back to 2 Corinthians 11, where Paul was saying that I fear that some of you are going to be beguiled by the serpent through the simplicity of Yahweh Shai Mashiach, because he knows that how the carnal mind, the body, is real susceptible to evil. Okay, but that's why we got to put on the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. The truth is the only thing that's going to protect you from all wickedness, man. Because each individual person has their own personal demons, man. Even though, like I said, they sound like themselves. they look like themselves, because those demons can impersonate you. If you ain't coming out like the scriptures say in Isaiah 8:20, it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not to this word, there is no light in them. Roughly paraphrasing it, man. Pursuing Isaiah 8:20. So if you ain't coming out of these scriptures, and like I said, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, rightly dividing the word of truth, then you're not coming in the right spirit, man. If you're coming in the spirit of Jesus Christ, he loves everybody, that's not the right spirit of the Bible, man. Because nowhere in the Bible you can show me that he loves everybody. And don't use John 3:16, man. Okay? You gotta come.
I appreciate you, bro. I really do.
Okay.
You Hebrew Israelite?
Yep. You are too, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what tribe you come from?
I don't know my lineage or anything like that, but I know I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I know my personal color. I know that
Well,
we
it's
all come from the 12 tribes.
Right, but it's not really based off color, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's just for truth's sake, of the Lord's image, because they got that white image. So for truth's sake, we speak about the pigment, you know, the color of his skin.
Well, because everybody's being misled.
Yeah, we're intermingled with the other nations, and that too, you know, part of the deception of the image. But if it all goes through your seed of your father, you know, so if your father goes back, I mean, we don't know 100%.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
But lineage, then he can find out which tribe.
Yeah, kind of. So, but you know, you gotta know whether or not if your father, like, I mean, is your dad a nigga?
Black,
He's
yeah.
black. Okay, then you would fall right here, man. One of these tribes, more than likely. You know, Benjamin, which is the Jamaicans and the Judah, the so-called niggas here today. You got the Haitians, the Levites, you know, and
Esau and Edom and Ephraim.
God. So, you from San Angelo?
I'm from San Angelo.
Yeah. How'd you know about it?
There's this guy I follow on Instagram that opened my eyes a whole lot. His name is Martin Luther, and then it's the third with 3 eyes. And he's an activist, and he's been going on about all this for, I mean, I've been following him for at least 3 years. Somebody to check out. It's not that you take what he what he writes down and everything. You take that into consideration, and you take your own, and you kind of put together your own, idea of everything. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, in the scripture it says there's no private interpretation of the scripture.
Exactly, because you have to. I mean, it's your own discernment. I mean, you have
to. No. That scripture right there, man, it's telling you right here. 2 Peter 1:20 says, knowing this first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So you can't break it down to your own way of thinking. You got to have someone teach you the proper breakdowns of what the scripture's really talking about. You know what I'm saying? Because the scriptures talk about in Galatians chapter 1, where there's people been misled, like you said, just through deception and false breakdowns and doctrines.
You want us to go ahead and go in?
Yeah. I'll be there in a second.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that we come from the church of Berea, like going back to the book of Acts, where they heard what Paul and the apostles had spoken about, and they went and sought it out to see whether or not what he was saying was true. And that's where you come into the scriptures, you know, and you do your little research on the internet on words and things of that nature and history, and then that more or less you got to put your trust in the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
but you
what
can't.
I'm saying though. You don't take everything that somebody sits there and tells you. You know, you need to sit and deduct and read and study your precepts and everything and figure that out for yourself in a way, you know what I'm saying?
Yep, that way you won't be misled.
Yeah, you know. I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate
All right,
it.
man.
It's really cool seeing somebody else out here like
All right,
this.
man. That's cool, man.
You.
All right,
Keep
man.
it up, man.
All right. Going back to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11 says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to stand against the walls of the devil. Kind of like I was saying, that word wild goes back to the word trickery or witchcraft, you know, deception. You know, it's like it's all through the spirit. That I was speaking about that in the beginning of this whole video. You know, the videos being on the highways and the byways, talking about the image, these people been lied to, what have you, and this, that, and the third. He even said that you know, even though he follows somebody else, but he's acknowledging that you got to come back to the word to see whether or not those things are true. You know, but you can't be left to yourself. You got to have a teacher at all times and a guide. You know, it says do nothing without advice, roughly. You know, so you can't do nothing without advice. You got to seek answers from your teachers, man. And the true teachers that are on the earth today are under GMS. Okay? Nobody else is going to give you the 100% truth, the breakdowns of the scriptures. Okay? Going back to Ephesians 6 and 11, put on the whole armor of the Most High that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. So that word wild go back trickery, witchcraft, false doctrines, deception. All right, and that word devil goes back to word, which it means a deceiver, which men are deceivers. There's many devils out here on the earth. It's not no mythical creature in the earth, in hell, burning with a pitchfork, getting ready to torture you people. He's doing it here on earth, man. All right. If you understand your words and what have you, like they got the valley of Tophet, going back in the time of the Israelites. That's where they would burn trash, that things of that nature, waste. That was all symbolic for hell here on earth, and ultimately that thermonuclear destruction that's going to come onto the earth. All right, through the Third World War, man. ICBM missiles. All right, but we gotta put on the whole armor, which is His word, man. All right, staying in contact with the brothers, being in the spirit. All right, thinking about precepts, meditating upon precepts. Because the walls of the devil, even though a man ain't beating there, but even you are your worst enemy, man. You can be just sitting there trying to, relax from a long week of work. You go home on a Friday night, take a shower, just chill, watch a movie, or you want to watch the live shows, and then you're just there watching the brothers. You're getting involved, leaving comments on the comment board. But then out of nowhere, a fucking thought pops in your head that has nothing to do with the scriptures. That's how wicked, man, this place is. We are our worst enemy. Like I was saying, even though you don't have to have a man right in your face, your own mind is that way, man. I'm gonna get that. And Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. It says, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? The mind is desperately wicked above all things. Who can know it, man? So you as your own person are your worst enemy. That's why you got to stay in the scriptures. You got to meditate upon the scriptures to fight to fight against the walls of the devil, man. All right. This Paul even said that he finds two wars going on in his mind. Right? This is the book of Romans. Romans chapter 7, verse 23 says, but I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? So, like I was saying, man, you gotta fight against the walls of the devil, man. All right, you can't trust in yourself. You can't trust in no other man. The Bible, the Lord even tells you that. Put no trust into no other man. All we got is the Lord, is the scriptures, the Spirit, and the brotherhood. But Lord will, the brothers that we trust in and we seek counsel from are part of that elect. But even at that, we still gotta leave it to the Spirit to play things out. You can't just be rash and be quick to solve a situation or to make proper judgment. Through the Spirit, it's gonna show it. Over time, through the process of time, the Spirit's gonna show it. And that's what's going on today. That's why the Elder Sahar, brothers keep saying it, is that he's commanded every brother that's been in this thing 2 years and up, got to put on 2 lessons a week. Go out into the highways and the byways, as accordingly, keep in contact with brothers, because that's all part of fighting against the walls of the devil, man. It's not just putting on this facade of you're a good citizen. All right, this whole good Samaritan bullshit, that has nothing to do with what the Lord is talking about, man. When you come into this thing, you're at war, man. It's constant war. there's a lot of upsets. There's a lot of downs, man. All right, there's more downs than there's ups. But even within them downs, we gotta somehow find a way to just to breathe, you know, and that's the Lord is making us breathe. He's giving us a little bit of oxygen enough to where we need that. He's not gonna give us it all, else we're gonna just depart. But He gives us just enough to where we still depend on Him, you know. And that's what that's part of a life. That's a life lesson. You know, you give just enough to where they're still going to continue to come back to you. You know. Going back to Ephesians 6:12. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Because every day can be your evil day. Ultimately, it's going to be when all hell breaks loose. But we got to seek the Lord today, right? So, any day can be your evil day. So we got to put on the whole armor, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, man. We got to be clothed with this thing, man. We got to be resonating with this thing to where people see that light, man. And people do see it. They do know we're separated. We're outside of that circle. You know, not knowing that we're in a whole different circle in itself. We are too. But we're gonna see whose circle is more impenetrable, or who's more solid. You know, whose circle is more tight. You know. But that's why we gotta always be in the scriptures, man. In the spirit, like I said, in the prayers. You know, like Paul said, he was bearing witness. He was boasting about his infirmities, and he was saying that, you know, often in you know, and prayers, and things of that nature, man, because he afflicted a lot. He had to trust in the Lord a lot, man. It says, verse 14, stand therefore, having your loins girded about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all things, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. Right. So if anybody comes up trying to sway us, you know, or try to get us to follow a whole different doctrine, that ain't gonna happen, because the Most High ain't gonna allow that to happen with His elect, man. Right, through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, we're going to continue doing this thing that we've been doing for the past 7 years, man. And brothers out there pushing harder, you know, 10 plus years. That's only through the spirit of the Lord that's allowing this thing to work, man. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and get that script in the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 39. Verse 38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily you be found even to fight against the Most High. And that's what a lot of people, they don't consider that, man. All they consider is about they want to scoff and mock. They want to make fun. They want to dog on us. They want to make fun of what we do on the highways and the byways. All right, but the Most High, the Lord, Yahweh Shai, already told us that there's going to be scoffers and mockers in the last days, man. All right, they're going to be more lovers of themselves than they are of the Most High. You know, you Negro Latinos and Native American Indians, man. Okay. I'm gonna read it again. It says, but if it be of the Most High, you cannot overthrow it. Lest happily you be found even to fight against the Most High. Right, so if the Spirit of the Lord is dealing with you brothers on the highways and the byways, if the Most High, like the scripture says, and it campeth you around with angels, man. You know, because you're doing what you're supposed to. You know, you're sincere. He knows your heart, and He's gonna protect you from the wiles of the devil, man. Even though you fall short, we all fall short. You know, the scriptures say a just man falleth 7 times and riseth up again. But the wicked fall into mischief. But Most High's going to preserve you and keep you from them things, man. You just got to get up and keep fighting. This is Psalms 34 and 7. Start at verse 6. This poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encampeth around them that fear him and delivereth them. Con. And it's talking about the men that are on the highways and the byways. Not in your comfort of your home or the comfort of your church. Because you ain't dealing with no adversity. You ain't being persecuted for righteousness' sake, man. Alright? You're not being tested of your faithfulness. When you come out to the highways and the byways, you're basically being an open sacrifice, man. Like it says in Romans chapter 12. That's a commandment too. You know? That's basically the first scriptures I brought out. Is that you got to go onto the highways and the byways and push this word. You know? That's part of being put to that fire, man. You know? I'm going to read it again. I'll start at verse, I'm gonna jump down to Psalms 33 and 18 as well. It says, behold, the eyes of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy. And that's what Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, he's putting his mercy and graces upon you, us brothers on the highways and the byways, man, through GMS. Alright? Nobody else out here, man. You know? Because when all hell breaks loose, these people ain't got a covering, man. Their covering that they put on themselves is of this place of America, man. You know? These false doctrines. They feed and fuel off their demons. You know? But Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai is gonna encamp around those that fear him, man. Alright? That's who the Most High deals with. That's who the Most High looking at. Alright? That's who the Most High is dealing and ready to protect, man. It's like that account with Elisha, you know, after Elijah was, you know, taken up to the spirit world by Yahweh Shai. That Elisha, he had his servant, and they were on the mountain, and you know, I forget the time of that war, Salakiakim, but Elisha prayed to the Lord to open up the eyes of his servant to see that the army of the Lord was encamped around him. And when his eyes were open, he saw all the chariots of the Lord around him, man. Because the Most High is not going to allow his servants to be put through something like that. You know, there's many examples. You got the 3 brothers in the time of Nebuchadnezzar, Abednego, Sirach, Meshach. They were put into that fiery furnace, man. And when he looked into that fiery furnace, he saw that there was a 4th man, like as a son of man, which was Yahweh Shai, protecting him. You know, he's gonna protect you brothers, man. That's where you gotta Most High, through the process of time, is gonna build up your faith, man. Okay, but you always gotta remember when you're on the highways and the byways, you gotta stay circumspect. You know, you gotta be careful, man. You know, because we're living in dangerous times, man. These times right now are very dangerous, man. There ain't no love here. It's complete hatred here. Okay. And that's where these people are so brainwashed into knowing that this is hate here, but at the same, they look at us like if we're hate. But really, we're showing them love, man. We're showing them complete mercy and love. The Most High is showing y'all mercy and love, man. Because right before a kingdom falls, he always sent out his men to go out and preach to the people, man. He's showing y'all complete mercy and love, man. But that's what I was saying. These people are so brainwashed in the mind that they think that we're hate, that we're fear-mongering. We don't fear-monger. It's commanded that we got to go onto the highways and the byways and lift up our voice and show our people their transgressions, man. Because these people, they don't know. You Latinos, Native American Indians, y'all don't know, man. Y'all don't know that the foods that y'all eat are GMO foods, man. Genetically modified organisms that are killing you, that give you cancer. Y'all don't know, man. And that's why the Lord, like he said, pursuant to the prophet Jeremiah, says, Jeremiah 3 and 15, it says, and I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding. So you gotta have a guide, man. All right. Ultimately, the guide is this book. But that man's gonna come from the spirit, come from the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Not coming speaking out of his own mouth, his own heart. You know? That's wicked, man, because anybody that knows that the mouth, the tongue is an evil thing, is an evil member as well as the mind. Because in the mind is where everything is imagined. It's creativity, you know, thoughts, your cognitives, all right, meaning your thoughts are produced in the mind and then they're transferred out the mouth. You know? So, like I was saying, man, the Most High knows what goes on in the mind, man. But it's manifested through the mouth. That's how we learn. That's how we bless. That's how we curse. You know? But y'all people don't know, man. Y'all don't have no clue, man. This is Romans chapter 10, verse 13. For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? Come. So Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is so merciful that he sent out his men to be a living sacrifice, man. To be that sweet incense unto the Most High. But to you, we're as a stench, man. You know, we're despised, we're rejected of all men. Like I was saying earlier, man, to your younger brothers that come in, whenever you do that you go through that transformation, you're gonna be your family members are gonna reject you, man. They're gonna mock and scoff at you. All the friends, you know, like my dad today, he's like, I can't even count my real friends. I can't count my friends on this one hand, you know. You're going to lose everything when you come and follow Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, man. But you don't know what's really going on, man. All you see is the tangible things. You know? You see what the eyes want to see. The ears want to hear. But there's greater things that are going on right underneath you that it's gonna be detrimental to your life, man. Okay? But I'm only speaking merciful to the elect. Anybody that's out there that fear Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, hey, like the scriptures say, come in, rest with us. That's all I'm speaking to. To the rest of you, man, you're gonna be destroyed and rejected, and you've been rejected by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, verse Romans 11 and 15. And how shall they preach except they be sent? Come, so how are you gonna know anything unless a man of the Lord is taught? Come and let you know. Lets you know, hey, with the mysteries. All right? How are you gonna know about it? Unless the Lord chooses a man that he chooses. Not who you choose. This ain't no democracy. All right? This is about kings and rulers, judges. So who the Lord chooses, that's who he's